Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining this year's webinar organized by the Companies Registry for the TCSP sector. I'm glad to have this opportunity to share with you about the points to note for applicants or holders of trust or company service provider licenses. I believe most of you are TCSP licensees, so some information I may not go through details with you, but I will point out the relevant section or paragraph of guidelines or the audience so that you may have revision in your own time. In my today's presentation, we will go through the topics as shown on the slide here. Well, most of you may know how to apply for a TCSP license, but the focal part of my presentation is to draw your attention to the common issues or key points that we come across when we process the applications for new or renewal licenses and other notifications. The applicants or TCSP licensees may fail to note such points, and I hope my sharing with you today could serve as a useful guide. Part 5A of the Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorist Financing Ordinance, Chapter 615, or I would call it AMNO, provides for the regulation of trust or company service providers, TCSPs, and was added as an amendment to the ordinance on the 1st of March 2018. The Companies Registry, CR, is responsible for the administration of the licensing regime for TCSPs. The registrar has published these two very useful guidelines so that the sector has a clear understanding of the licensing regime for TCSPs and the compliance of AML or CTF requirements. They are guidelines on licensing of trust or company service providers, and I call it in my presentation the licensing guideline. Another guideline is the guideline on compliance of anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing requirements for trust or company service providers, and I'll call it the AML-CTF guidelines. This guideline was issued by the registrar pursuant to Section 7 of the AMNO to provide guidance for TCSP licensees for compliance with the provisions of Schedule 2 to the AMNO. It sets out the relevant CDD and record-keeping requirements prescribed in the AMNO. With effect from the 1st of March 2018, any person carrying on a trust or company service business in Hong Kong without a license granted by the registrar commits an offence and is liable on commission to a fine of 100,000 Hong Kong dollars and imprisonment for 6 months. You may refer to Section 53F of the AMNO. To get started, we should know what is a trust or company service. Well, you may refer to details according to paragraph 2.2 of the licensing guidelines for the definition. And also, you may need to consider whether a person or corporation is providing a trust or company service by way of business. If you have decided to apply for a TCSP license, you have to submit Form TCSP1, the Supplementary Information Sheets, and Form TCSP4 for individual, or TCSP5 for corporation, for each person who is subject to the fit and proper test, together with correct fee and supporting documents such as a copy of the business registration certificate, a copy of the Hong Kong ID card. If the person is exempted from the fit and proper test, for example, an accounting professional or a legal professional, Form TCSP4 or 5 is not required. You may ask, if I have applied for the TCSP license, which is still in the process, can I carry on trust or company service now? The answer is no. You can only carry on TCSP business after you are granted a TCSP license. If the application is successful, a license will be issued to the applicant. The business name of the applicant will be included in the register of TCSP licensees, which can be searched at our website. From here, I would like to share some key points with you if you would like to apply for a TCSP license. Please ensure to submit a valid business registration certificate, but not the branch registration certificate as one of the supporting documents. In the slide, I have indicated in a red rectangular bracket or on the BR certificate, showing that this is a business registration certificate, but not a branch registration certificate. Besides, if it is a business certificate, the number in the middle as indicated in a red line should be 000, but not 001, 002, etc. Please ensure to fill in the information of ultimate owner, director or partner, compliance officer, CO, and money laundering reporting officer, MLRO, on the form TCSP1, as we noted that only partial information is given. For example, we have got the director and ultimate owner information only, but the information on CO and the MLRO is not provided. Some applicants may not know the definition of ultimate owner, and we would advise you to refer to paragraph 4.3 of the licensing guideline. Also, please ensure that the CO and MLRO are normally based in Hong Kong, as required under paragraph 3.5b of AML CTF guideline. Moreover, if the director, partner, or ultimate owner is a person exempted from fit and proper test, please submit the certificate issued by the relevant authority under Professional Accountants Audience, Chapter 50, or Legal Practitioners Audience, Chapter 159, where applicable, as supporting document together with the applications. In addition, please ensure to submit the annex to the form TCSP4, that is, the authorization attached to statement as regards fit and proper criteria. It should be properly completed and signed by the relevant person and the witness. Upon receiving the TCSP license, the registrar also imposes 3 conditions on the license, which we find that some of the licensees may not be aware. The licensees should appoint a compliance officer and a money laundering reporting officer during the term of the license, and should ensure that a new compliance officer or money laundering reporting officer, as the case may be, is appointed within 7 days, where a vacancy occurs in the 2 posts. The licensee should put in place adequate and proper anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing policies, procedures, and controls, as evidenced by policy statements or other written documents. The licensee should provide information relating to his business during the term of the license, as may be required by the registrar of companies, and such information should be provided within such time as the registrar of companies may specify. The registrar may take disciplinary action against the licensee who fails to comply with the licensing conditions. Regarding condition 1, we would like to remind licensees that if there is any change on this CO and MLRO, please ensure that Form TCSP6 is delivered within 1 month beginning on the days on which the change takes place. The internal records like appointment and duty list of CO and MLRO should be kept properly. For condition 2, the licensee should make reference to the CR's AML CTF guideline for TCSPs and tailor-make their own AML/CTF policy and procedure statements, which are applicable to and suitable for the TCSP business they carry on. For condition 3, during the term of license, the registrar would request the licensee to provide specified information, documents, for example, supplementary information sheets, explanatory letters. As such, the licensee is required to submit the requisite documents by deadline as specified. During the term of license, the TCSP licensee should know they have filing obligations as required under the AMNO. To file Form TCSP 6 for reporting changes in particulars of licensee or its relevant person within 1 month of the change, you may refer to Section 53W of the AMNO. To file Form TCSP 3 and TCSP 4 or 5 for seeking approval for adding an ultimate owner or partner or director before such addition takes place, you may refer to Sections 53S, 53T, and 53U of the AMNO. To file Form TCSP 7 for notification of cessation of trust or company service business before the intended date of cessation, you may refer to Section 53X of the AMNO. I'm now going to share 3 cases with you here. Case 1. My company has changed the business address and telephone number. Do I need to file any form with the TCSP registry? Yes. And you must file the Form TCSP 6 within 1 month to report the changes. Case 2. My company would like to appoint a new director who is subject to the fit and proper test. Do I need to file any form with the TCSP registry? The answer is yes. Well, you need to submit the Form TCSP 3 together with the TCSP 4 or 5 as appropriate, together with the supporting document to seek our power approval first. After approval is given and the relevant appointment is made, your company must file a Form D2A to report the appointment of the director within 15 days. This is according to the company's audience. And notify this registry of such change by way of a Form TCSP 6 within 1 month. Case 3. My company would like to appoint a certified public accountant, that is, exempted person, to be a new director. Do I need to file any form with the TCSP registry? The answer is yes. You must file a Form TCSP 6 to report the changes within 1 month, together with the supporting document. In respect of the filing obligations, here are some common issues that I would like to remind licensees that quite often, a TCSP licensee thought that they have already filed notifications to report changes as required under the company's audience and regard such filing has fulfilled the requirement under the AMNO as well. Such concept is wrong, and we would like to remind the licensees that they should comply with both audiences and should file different notifications to the CR and the TCSP registry respectively. If the licensee fails to comply with the filing requirements under the AMNO, it would be liable to prosecution and subject to disciplinary actions taken by the registrar. You are also reminded that before any addition of ultimate owner or partner or director who is not an exempted person, prior approval from the registrar must be obtained. When filing Form TCSP 6, please ensure to attach the correct and complete schedule, as there are 5 different schedules for reporting different types of changes for Form TCSP 6. Please also submit correct supporting documents according to the checklist as attached to Form TCSP 6. We are now on the topic of renewal of TCSP license. A TCSP license is usually valid for 3 years, and the validity period is stay on the license. If you wish to continue to carry on your trust or company service business upon the expiry of your license, you must make an application for renewal of license at least 60 days before the license is due to expire. You may refer to section 53K of the manual. Unless the application for renewal of the license is withdrawn or your current license is revoked or suspended by the registrar, your current license will remain in force until it is renewed, or if it is not renewed, until the decision not to renew takes effect. As shown in the slide, the red line indicates the submission of the renewal application. The current license is expired before the renewal license is granted. The period as indicated in the red box here is the period between the expiry dates of current license and the date of the grant of renewal license. So it shows that the red box shows that the current license remains in force. If the licensee fails to submit the renewal application at least 60 days before the license expires, well, I regret to say that you have missed to submit the license renewal application. Even if you submit the application to us, the application will not be accepted and processed. Besides, there will be no refund for the application fee. However, you may apply for a new TCSP license if you still wish to carry on a trust or company service business in Hong Kong after your current license expires. The registry will process your application for a new TCSP license, and a new license will be granted to you if your application is successful. The new TCSP license will bear a new license number. If your license has expired before a new license is granted, you must cease carrying on your trust or company service business before the new license is granted. Otherwise, you will commit an offense of carrying on a trust or company service business in Hong Kong without a license and are liable on conviction to a fine and an imprisonment. To make an application for renewal of a license, you are required to submit Form TCSP2, Form TCSP4 or 5 for each of non-exempted person and relevant supporting documents such as the current valid business registration certificate. Here are some points to note for your attention. When completing Form TCSP2, please ensure the information you fill in should be consistent with the records previously provided to the registrar. You may need to review the licensee's records first before submitting the renewal applications. If you find any changes in particulars of licensee or its relevant person, for example, change in business address, email address of the licensee, change in correspondence address of the relevant person or director, cessation of the relevant person have been taken place, please submit Form TCSP6 for reporting the changes. The licensee shall ensure prior approval for acting ultimate owner or partner or director has been granted by the registrar. If you submit the application electronically, please ensure that you submit it with payment successfully made. For successful payment, the e-receipt containing payment receipt number and application reference number will be generated for your record. Okay, here it comes is the enforcement of the licensing regime. As a regulator, we have established an enforcement system to ensure that TCSP licensees do comply with those AML requirements and licensing requirements. We would outreach to TCSP business addressed to conduct site inspections of TCSP licensees. During inspection, we would interview relevant persons and inspect records and documents of TCSP licensees. We also invite relevant persons of licensees or applicants to come to our office for interview. We also examine various documents submitted by TCSP licensees, and we also consider intelligence provided to us by other law enforcement agencies, and also conduct online investigation to ensure that the TCSP licensees fully comply with the AML and licensing requirements. What if any person or licensee fails to comply with the AML requirements and or licensing conditions? There are a range of sanctions available for the registrar who can apply in respect of the nature and seriousness of the contravention. Well, for minor contravention, she may issue advisory or warning letters. In case the licensee has contravened the AML requirements and the licensing conditions, the registrar may consider to take disciplinary actions, including public reprimand the licensees, order the licensees to take remedial actions to remedy their non-compliance, or even impose a penalty of not exceeding $500,000. If the registrar considers the licensees or relevant person no longer fit and proper to carrying on or associate with TCSP business, she may consider to suspend or revoke the license. If any person has committed offense under the AML, we will consider to take appropriate action to prosecute. You may visit the enforcement page on our website to view those licensee or relevant person who have failed to comply with the requirements under the AML and or licensing conditions. Well, you may view the relevant prosecution cases and to see those nature of offense and the judgment, or you may also view the disciplinary cases and to see those contravention cases and disciplinary action taken. Well, lastly, I would like to tell you that most of the information I present can be found in our TCSP website. Please visit and explore more. Well, you may conduct search on the register of TCSP licensees for free. And what I mentioned, the guidelines and the information pamphlets and the specified forms or frequently asked questions are all available on our website. Besides, there is thematic page related to the AML, CTF, and the enforcement page on our website. That's all for my part of presentation. Thank you.